Hello and welcome back to the channel, cousins. Listen, it's your girl Chrissy Pips. This is like the let's say the 12th time I've tried to. So we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to get it done, right? Today's video is about organization for your computer. This is not a be-all, end-all video of how to do everything. This is just the method that I am using based off the research that I did to find some of these hints and tips for you guys. So I really hope you enjoy it. If you can't already tell, it's definitely some sauce here. But listen, this was a special request video from somebody on my team. I want to make sure that I'm being thorough. So there's a few things that I want to highlight for you that I actually learned. Let me know if you actually use some of these hints and tips in the comment section below. But as always, if you guys are here, you're interested. So let's get into it. Now, tip number 1. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Map it out. Create a plan of action. Okay? This is not the be-all, end-all of strategies for getting things organized. But I was reading something in Microsoft and they were saying, what if one morning you opened up your dresser drawer because you needed to find some clothes to get to work, and in the drawer was a hat, 3 socks, a t-shirt, and a cardigan. And then you opened up another drawer and it was like half a Halloween costume, a shoe, and some random like accessories, right? Your drawers in your room, your wardrobe is typically more organized than what your desktop is. When your things are scattered about, it makes it hard for you to get things done efficiently. So, just like you don't throw things in random drawers and on random hangers in your closet, you don't want to do that with your filing system for your computer. So figure out what your plan of action is. You can use my screen as an example. I just wanted to have a few folders to focus on. These gigantic folders are not actually folders. They're on the desktop. This is the only folder that's in this section for social media. Inside of this folder, I know I'm going to be able to find Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, videos, and more. And it's all going to be related to social media. I'm going to show you guys how to do this as well. But tip number 1 is create a plan of action. This was my plan of action. I wrote everything down and then started creating. Okay? So that's tip 1. Now, tip number 2 is going to be name it and be specific. So if you do social media, define what that folder is going to hold. If you're trading and investing, define it, right? Personal development, define it, right? And be specific so that it's easier for you to find things later on, okay? Like there is definitely a thing with using the search tool inside of your folders here. This search box up here, it makes it so much easier for you to find the things that you put in the folder for quick access. Okay? So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 and 4 are going to kind of come together. So it's like, let's sort things out. Okay? That's 3. And that's kind of putting your folders together and dragging and dropping things into them. It's not dragging and dropping things into the folder, into the subfolder, blah, blah, blah. It's just getting things in here so that you can start to subfolder it out. It's starting the organization process. So sort things, okay? And 4, as the pro tip, is the desktop wallpaper. So we're gonna go over to my favorite like creative tool in the world, which is Canva. Like if you guys do not already know, I am so addicted to this website. It is very versatile. So what you do is you come here, go to the search box, make sure you're on templates, and then type in organization desktop wallpapers. That's what you're gonna start with as like your base, okay? So there are plenty of different aesthetics that you can use. This is just one of them, just to give you guys an idea. If you want something it looks retro and trendy and bright, but dark at the same time. Whatever floats your boat, right? If you want something pastel and relaxing, go ahead and choose a template and customize it from there. It's all about what you want, okay? Now, me personally, what I did was this. So I have 3 monitors. So my main monitor is the one that you guys seen earlier. I created these little folders. I decided what was going to be in them. So as I was going through that thought process, I kind of just mapped it out here. But because I have 3 different monitors, I wanted to make sure that all 3 of my monitors were being utilized like to the fullest. So this is my main center screen. I have a spot for all of the files and folders, the different apps that I don't want in folders because I want quick access. This is a shortcut section, right? My affirmations, and I'll show you guys how to actually use this space and make it workable. The second monitor that I have has my calendar on it, so this changes out. I know I have a boot camp that I'm doing these 5 days, so I won't plan anything else here. And then my to-do list, and I'm going to show you guys how to make this to-do list section workable as well. And then my third monitor, I have this blank space because there's usually a window open with something trading related in it, but also my post-it notes. This section is also going to be workable. So once I created the designs for all 3, I did go ahead and download them individually and then save them to my computer. So I'll show you guys the upload process. So you go to your desktop after you save the items, open your downloads folder because that's usually where it goes first. And then you actually need to hold the control button and select all 3 images in the order that your monitors are numbered. My monitors are numbered with the center monitor being number 1, the right monitor being number 2, and the left monitor being number 3. So yeah, it's in a weird order. So I had to select it in a weird order in order for them to pop up in the right place. But after you select all 3, you right click and click Set as Desktop Background. Okay. Now to make sure that these aren't going to change out or anything like that, this one that says slideshow, make sure that it's not on slideshow. Okay. So I'm going to fix that. And after you make sure those settings are together how you want them, you have 3 different monitors or however many you have with different backgrounds so that each monitor's desktop space can be used for something different. Okay, it gives you the ability to be a little bit more efficient. So tip number 5, we need to keep our recycling bins clean. When I was doing a little bit of research, I found out that, and I had no idea, that when you leave all of those extra files and folders and things inside of your recycling bin, it's just taking up space on your computer that doesn't need to be taken up because you've thrown it away. You don't leave your trash in your house forever. You get rid of it, right? So same thing with the recycling bin. So you can open it, go into recycling bin tools, and just click empty recycling bin. It's definitely a good idea to get into a habit of doing this bi-weekly or weekly if you can. If you cannot, because I know for some of us it's a stretch in the beginning to create a new habit like this, just schedule an alarm once a month to go ahead and do it. Okay? If you have a lot of stuff in there, it's a good idea to scroll through just in case there's something in there that you were looking for that you could not find, but keep it clean. The next tip that I have for you is back it up. Okay? You can have space online through OneDrive. You can have an external hard drive. I prefer to have a physical external hard drive. So I have a 2 terabyte external hard drive that I just connect to my computer through USB. And monthly, I try to move the files, folders, and things over into it and update it. Now, it is definitely a daunting task, so I do need to do it weekly, but I'm working my way up to there. It's a work in progress, you guys. But tip number 6 is to back it up. You want to make sure that if you take the time to create things and documents and stuff like that, and something for whatever reason happens to your computer, you're not stressing out because you have a backup version available. Now, remember when I said that I was going to show you how to make each of the monitors workable? Well, there's something called sticky notes on your computer. So tip number 7 is going to be use the sticky notes. This actually gives me the ability to have a box on my desktop that I can type in so that my notes in this section of my wallpaper are actually up to date. So I'm going to type out my affirmations and put them here. On the other screen, you guys seen the one that said sticky notes itself. So this is actually my entire list of all of the different sticky notes I have available, because if somebody's asking me, let's say this new people joining the team, right? I might want to send this out to them. And I like it because you can close those as individuals. You guys know I've been on Punk Panda lately talking about that. So here's all the information that I would send out, right? So having a notes, post-it note board of different notes, right, is very convenient for me. Also on that third monitor with the calendar, there's a to-do list. So I can go in here, write some to-do things out for the calendar, write the dates next to them if I want to, but I have a long running list and I can update this and keep it on my desktop. So it makes all of the spaces for all three monitors usable. If you don't have a Windows PC, I'm quite sure that there is something similar available for like Mac or Linux. There's got to be an app for that, right? But that is going to be tip number 7, is use sticky notes. Now, moving right along, let's go back over to our browser. The next tip is tip number 8. It's going to be to use your Bookmarks bar. I love this bar up here. If you do not have your Bookmarks bar visible, like if yours just looks like this, go to these 3 dots in the upper right hand corner. Click there, click Bookmarks, click Show Bookmarks Bar. I love this because this is probably the most organized I am, actually, is with my Bookmarks bar, even more so than my folders and files, right? But I have a folder in my Bookmarks bar for everything that I do. So you guys know I like to do social media stuff. So in my social media folder are subfolders with extra stuff in them. So all the Facebook groups that I'm in, pages, different social media apps and resources that I use, the folders for resources and apps and things like that. So this makes it so that if I'm doing something social media, I can search through this box. If I'm doing something creative, I can search through this box. So utilize your Bookmarks bar by creating those folders and those quick shortcuts. Also, use your start bar. Your start bar does not have to be at the bottom of your screen. I do not like mine at the bottom of the screen. I like it here on the left-hand side because it's more convenient for me. It's a personal preference. So that's where I put mine at, okay? But on this bar, I have like some very, very important stuff. So my trading journal is here. My full schedule is here. Zoom, my calculator. I use an app called GIMP to edit. Just the things that I need very quickly are on this bar, and they're always there for me. So as far as being organized, number 8 for us is going to be to utilize the Bookmarks bar, create those folders, and use your start bar to its advantage. Number 9 is going to be, remember that this system is for you. When I created this social media folder for like my desktop template, the stuff that I put in here, I don't really care if people think that it could be organized differently. This is how my mind chose to organize it, so this is what I did. This makes sense to me. If there are other people that are going to be using your computer, then it would definitely be a good idea to, especially if it's like an office setting where you're trying to get organized, it's a good idea to maybe have a meeting with your team and see what makes sense for your team for the devices that you're going to be using. Okay, but remember that the system is for you or your team, and you want to make sure that it makes sense for you. It doesn't have to make sense for anybody else. And with that being said, I want to share something with you guys really quick. There were a few items that I found. So if you don't know exactly like how to organize everything, if you want to do all of your images, maybe you can separate it into events and then like different categories, the years, and then the images. This is one way that could work for you, right? The other one is this one. All projects. If you are working, all of the projects could go in a projects folder, right? And then the category. maybe online ads, social media accounts, blah, blah, blah. And then subcategories inside of there, and then the actual files, folders, and images. Okay, so there are different methods that you can use. There was a Microsoft link that I used to find some of this information, so I'll drop that in the description of today's video as well. But just remember that, yeah, the system's for you, so make it work for you. There is a bonus that I'm going to share with you guys. So on my desktop, this folder, this little folder right here, this one right here, see how it has Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube on the cover of the folder? This is a custom folder. Okay, so I made the one for social media. I'm going to make one for trading and investing, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And where did I do that at? Of course, I did it on Canva. So go over to Canva. The tip for this, like the most important part of creating this, is when you open up Canva, click custom size right here in the top right. And it needs to be 256 by 256. So I created a custom one for my music, one for my pips and tips folder that's inside of my trading folder. This is the one for social media, and I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to take out the social media stuff, and then I'm actually going to drag this image down and put it on as the cover of this folder. Okay, so now that I have the image in the folder the way that I want it, I'm going to go ahead and download this image as a transparent background. If you are using the free version of Canva, you do not have the transparent background option. Anytime you see the crown, that does mean that it is a paid feature. But I do pay for my Canva yearly because I use it that much. It's definitely worth it for me. So there are other apps and things that you can find online that will take the background out of this. But for me, I'm going to download page number 4 only. So let's turn that off, 4 only. Okay, and then I want a transparent background download as a PNG file. And then this is the website we're going to go over to. So this website allows you to convert images into folder icons. I'm going to drop this in the description box below it so that you guys can see it. But go here, choose the actual image, okay, the file. It's going to load here. Once it loads here, click start. And then it will automatically download when it switches screens. You do not need to click any of the buttons on this screen. Okay, see, it downloaded right here as an ICO file. Now you're going to go back to your desktop, right click on the folder that you're changing, go to properties, go to customize, where it says folder icons, change icon, browse, and now here's your folder icon, and you're going to click OK, and it's going to update. So now I have a little black folder right here that has a little phone on it that has MT4 on it. This is a customizable thing that you can do for all of the folders on your desktop. So that is like my pro tip. That's the bonus tip. Now, I do actually have another bonus for you guys. Now, what I want you to do is go up to the very top of your screen. When you have multiple things open, if they are the same or similar, or you can categorize them while you have your windows open and you know you're going to need them for a while, right click up here, okay, and then you're going to go to add tab to new group, and then I want to name this group Canva, VA, and I can right click on this other Canva window that's open and click add tab to group, click Canva, and what happens is I can now do this again and put all of these same things together and kind of minimize them without minimizing them. So if I have a bunch of Canva stuff open, maybe I have a bunch of different resource windows open, YouTube stuff planned, you can right click, add to group, new group, and just name it YouTube and put all of those things together. Maybe you're doing research, right? But this is going to help you be organized while you're working. This is not a fixed feature. So when you close out of all of these windows, the files that you've created or the different groups that you've created will disappear. But for people who spend long hours on their computer and you want a little bit more organization, I thought that this was really cool when I found out. So bonus for you guys too, okay? Now, that is going to wrap us up. I'm absolutely ecstatic that I actually got through this. Let's just see if the upload process goes well, because that's where I've been having the headaches at. So, listen, do me a favor. Comment below what your favorite tip is. If you think other people can get some value from this information, go ahead and share it with friends. Share it on social media. It definitely helps out the channel. But listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, but I would enjoy it even more if I could upload it, right? But I want you guys to have an absolutely amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.